Humans have been foraging for food since the dawn of time. It's less common these days, but that may be changing. Today, I'm searching for edible plants in Michigan's Upper Peninsula with Lisa M. Rose, a lifelong forager and the writer behind our series, A Year in the Wild Kitchen of the Great Lakes. Hey, Lisa.
Well, hey, Anna.
How's it going?
Very well, thank you. Gorgeous day.
Right? Gorgeous day. Gorgeous day, especially for some spring foraging, yeah?
Time to replenish the medicine cabinets with medicinal plants and then also maybe find a couple of wild edibles for the dinner table for tonight.
Cool. Let's venture out and check it out.
We shall venture.
Cool.
Little babies.
Lisa is the perfect guide for this adventure. She's an anthropologist and author who focuses on community health and local food systems. Is there anything in particular that you're hoping we might find today?
I'm jonesing for nettles, but knowing we're up in the UP early spring, it's a crapshoot.
Lisa and I are hoping to harvest some nettles, which are perennial herbs with dark green leaves that grow in nutrient-rich, damp soil. We're foraging in early May, and we're way up north, so the nettles may not be ready here just yet. For people who have never done this before, what is foraging?
Foraging is the simple art of working with the edible and medicinal plants in your landscape. And for thousands and thousands of years, each of us as humans has relied on the natural world to survive.
Foraging may be having a moment right now, but people have been eating wild plants for ages. They simply aren't farmed and cultivated in the traditional sense, so consequently, you won't find them in most local grocery stores.
Over 100 years, our food system is really narrowed to where we go into the grocer and we have about 30 varieties of fresh fruits and vegetables. Before the Industrial Revolution, we had many, many more wild plants as part of our diet.
There's nothing innately better about the current top varieties of fruits and vegetables. Rather, they rose to prominence because humans figured out how to effectively and economically process them into food. Fortunately, the wild plants we used to eat still exist. As Lisa and I forage, we discover an abundance of wild plants,
So here's a bit of leaves of the cedar,
including mullein, cedar trees, horsetails, and chaga. It's worth pointing out, this is a mushroom. What are some of the basics as far as how to make sure that you're identifying something and being safe and responsible when you're out foraging?
It's really about developing an awareness of where you're at. You start to understand or get a sense of how plants grow across the season. The biggest thing I'm paying attention to across the season is the weather. You know when you're not supposed to plant your tomatoes downstate, and that's before May 15. Here it's like June 15. So you start to understand what might be growing and when. Mullein is a good medicinal plant.
And it's really soft.
It is really soft, but people say it's good for toilet paper, and that is not correct.
Noted. We haven't even really started the walk yet and already found something.
And that might be the most valuable piece of information I give you today.
What's this one, just out of curiosity?
That is a variety of dock. So the plants like dock or nettles, it's really important to consider the land. Legacy chemicals come to mind immediately.
Even in the forest, the past is always present. This spot might look like untouched wilderness, but the area has a history of mineral extraction.
We're in the Upper Peninsula, outside of one of the world's largest industrial copper mine sites. And that has left behind a lot of legacy contaminants. Mining is a very chemical-intense process. And so for me, I am always looking where the sun rises and sets, where the lake is, how the creeks might be flowing, what the soil is like. But then also, like, what happened here?
The presence of legacy chemicals isn't the only factor foragers must be aware of.
In the Upper Peninsula, there are so many uncapped mines and mine shafts that I was brought up not to leave the trail.
Here in the UP, foraging is an extreme sport. There are lots of hazards to navigate, including property owners who are wary of trespassers and even bears. Despite the risk, it's worth it, even if Lisa and I don't find any nettles.
I've learned so much walking around with you today. We haven't exactly found any nettles yet, though. So what do you think about that?
Well, I think it might be a bit early up here, but it is nettle season downstate. I'm from downstate, and I've got them in tow. And I'm wondering if you'd like to have lunch.
I would love to have lunch. Let's do that.
We're going to use Lisa's nettles to make pasties, which are the Upper Peninsula's signature dish and part of Lisa's family heritage.
They are my roots in terms of like a good chunk of my family coming from Cornwall in the 1860s.
After immigrating from Cornwall, England, Lisa's great-great-great-grandfather worked in the copper mines, while her grandmother took care of the family. They were part of a wave of skilled Cornish miners and their families who came to the UP in search of better opportunities. Lisa's ancestors brought their cooking traditions to the region, most notably the Cornish pasty, a humble folded pastry stuffed with a savory filling, often consisting of root vegetables and shredded meat, the perfect portable meal for a hungry miner. Reimagining her grandmother's pasty recipes helps Lisa to connect to the relative she never met.
What was in her pantry? How many times did she maybe have to do some foraging, that we might call it? What was her food preservation? How long did she have to stretch the root vegetables in the larder?
And all of this inspires Lisa to develop her own recipes.
It's pretty fun to be able to have my own wild foods twist on it and kind of shake things up a bit and hopefully make my ancestors proud.
All right, so we are in the kitchen. We've got all kinds of stuff in front of us, but the star of the show in my eyes, the nettles.
The nettles, one of my favorite spring greens.
According to Lisa, nettles are a great alternative to spinach or kale, and they'll make a great filling for our pasties.
I've got already chopped and simmering nettles with a little bit of onion and just a little bit of salt and pepper. So if you want to go ahead and even give that filling a taste.
It's so dark. They go down so dark.
They really do. It tastes like earth.
Yes, it does. It has that kind of like bitter quality to it, but also kind of smoky. Can I do it too?
Yeah, go for it.
After a little bit of rolling, filling, shaping, and baking, it's finally time to eat.
Now is time for the taste test. So Cornish pasties, remember, they're miners' food and they're made to hold as a little pocket.
All right, cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Right?
So flaky.
That's good.
Really good.
Thank you, Nettles.
Oh my God. So good.